War Journal of Captain Gabriel Angelos. The situation on the planet Tartarus is grim. While the Blood Ravens crushed the main Ork offensive at the spaceport, the bulk of their force is not engaged. They gather in the wilderness, awaiting a critical mass of bodies that will overwhelm the Imperial forces in a green wave of death and destruction. The Blood Ravens will not allow this to occur. Orbital monitoring has detected an area in the southern forests where the Orks appear to be massing. Orks only respect strength, so they will look to the largest of their groups to lead them. We will insert a small, covert strike force to eliminate these Ork leaders and destroy any encampments where the Orks might mass. This should cut to the heart of the Orks' fighting spirit and delay their inevitable counterattack. We must tread lightly, lest we disturb this slumbering beast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mission 2 of the first campaign of the first game in the Dawn of War series.
You have your orders. Now go, and may the Emperor protect you.
I do not care for all this sneaking about.
I know, old friend. You always have preferred the direct approach.
We have the Imperial Guard. Why not send them into battle instead of treating them like glorified shepherds? If we meet the Orks in force, they cannot possibly stand before us.
We have fought the Ork 100 times before. They thrive on war. A direct assault on them would likely improve their morale and simply attract more of them. The casualties would be enormous.
What are the Imperial Guard for if not to die for their Emperor? At the very least, we should retain a regiment to remain at our call. We have little support this far out. We would not want to be remembered for our carelessness.
We, old friend? Or me?
We are brothers, Gabriel. You know better than to ask that question. I know what this is about. There was nothing you could have done to save Cyrene.
Do not mention that place again, Isidore. Cyrene was my homeworld. My responsibility. Scout Team 3, do you copy?
Yes, my lord.
The local Imperial waterworks has fallen into Ork hands. If we are to reclaim this area, we must first retake this position. Scouts have infiltrated ahead of you and will assist you in your reconnaissance. If things prove to be more than you can handle, reinforcements will be mobilized to assist.
Getting into position.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. So we have a pair of scouts here.
This area is crawling with Orks.
For most Space Marine chapters, scouts are actually, man, the faces on these models look a little rough. Scouts are the first stage of becoming a Space Marine. When you're a trainee and you kind of get the initial implants and stuff, you serve for a while as a light infantry, as a scout, before you become a full-fledged Space Marine. Now we can just fight these. We can just fight these guys. I know we're supposed to sneak past them, but we can do a little melee combat here, so you can see what it's about. They're running away. For whatever reason, I guess they're just cowards. Okay, we're chasing everybody off. So let's see here. We'll just kill all these guys. As long as we keep reinforcing them, we shouldn't lose this firefight here. Now, while scouts are kind of the trainee Space Marines before they become full members, librarians are Space Marines that have psychic powers. Now, Psychers and the Warp, that's kind of the equivalent of magic in the 40k universe. And unlike a lot of settings, it's very dangerous. And it's very much a double-edged sword. So while psychers can do things other people can't, they also can get wrapped up, or they can be dealing with forces that they shouldn't be. So we'll come here. We'll just help these Imperial Guard. Although we can probably do it. We'll stab these. We'll kill these Gretchen, which are basically goblins in close combat. And then we'll try and help these Imperial Guardsmen here. What you're supposed to do is use the little sneak ability and sneak past them, but all these guards are gonna die. Okay, we're gonna run away. Discretion is the better part of valor. We'll just sneak out of here. And we'll get a second squad of scouts with sniper rifles. Yeah, that's too many orcs.
They will make short work of these orcs. Take them down from here.
So sniper rifles, you have to be stationary.
Scouts awaiting orders.
But they, I think sniper rifles in this game, they don't do much damage, but they do high morale damage, which you can see has broken these units' morale. They did end up capturing the point, though. There's, unlike a regular company of heroes, there's different armor classes for infantry. So these are just regular infantry, as are orcs, but full Space Marines are heavy infantry. Now, the thing that they were talking about at the beginning of Cyrene is there are things worse than orcs in this world, which haven't really come into this game yet. And some of those things are so bad that the Imperium of Man just decides it needs to destroy an entire world rather than leave that threat there. Sometimes it's just better to cut your losses.
Yes, my lord.
So, okay, so we'll continue to sneak in here. Oh, there's a lot of guys here.
We will root it out. We will move ahead. Scouts here. Any enemy positions. Scouts awaiting orders.
That's like an enemy sergeant. So you can see these guys are heavy infantry.
Scouts ready. Scouts here.
Heavy infantry are a different armor type than regular infantry. Okay, I guess I should be sneaking in here. Okay, I guess we'll just sneak through.
Your scout marine squad is now invisible to all enemies except for commanders. Keep in mind though, if you are attacked,
So we'll just run through here.
and some time will pass before you can utilize it again.
Run through here. I actually haven't played this mission beforehand, so... And the last time I played this game was 10 years ago, so we'll see what happens. Oh. We'll, break stealth and just kill these guys. So you can see the sniper rifle immediately broke their morale. One thing though is units that have morale broken do get a slight speed bonus.
Looks like he's in charge of this bunch. We'll move ahead. We kill him among any enemy positions.
Oopsies.
I command in the name of the Emperor.
I think we were probably not supposed to get these aggro these guys, but it looks like we have some real squads of Space Marines showing up to help us out. So we'll do that. We'll have our force commander kill these guys. So we stab all these guys to death. Now, if you're interested in what Space Marines are, basically they recruit people from different planets depending on the culture of a Space Marine chapter. They might come from one planet or a bunch of them. They basically give them special training and cybernetic and genetic implants. And first they are scout for a while, where they learn kind of some basic Space Marine stuff, and eventually they become a full tactical or a full Space Marine, and then they become things like veterans and stuff like that. I'm just gonna go in here and clear out all this stuff because, you know, just so I don't have to deal with it.
Scouts awaiting orders. Search commencing. I sense danger. We will root it out.
Come help out here with our scout squad. Unfortunately, we can't give a sniper rifle to the second scout squad. I think that'd be pretty useful right now. So orc shooter boys are the ranged. I love how the melee attacks work in this. Orc shooter boys are the ranged ones, while slugger boys are the close combat ones. Also, it appears I can't rebuild these heavy weapons, so when these marines die, I lose those heavy weapons semi-permanently. It's not that big of a deal. It's worth it to take this stuff out. I mentioned it in a comment, but the interesting thing is about the intro video to Dawn of War, which might not seem obvious in retrospect, is that when I was a kid and I saw it, Warhammer 40k was much less popular than it is now, and it was the first time I'd ever really seen like a kind of live action attempt to portray what all the stuff looked like. So, you know, I would play the game and I had models. My first army was Eldar actually, but you know, you would play the game, but you kind of just had to imagine, you know, what a dreadnought looked like when it was like, you know, ripping something apart, or what a orcs looked like, you know, with their choppas and all that kind of stuff. And so it was pretty cool to actually see an attempt to kind of have a cinematic sort of a cinematic view of, you know, what a Space Marine army or a 40k army would look like. Oh, you guys stay here. So one problem with heroes, if they're not in squads, they're pretty, even though they have a lot of health, they're pretty easy to kill because, you know, they're just one unit, so they can get worn down pretty quickly. The only problem is I don't have any units of melee infantry to put this commander in, so he's gonna have to stay back here for now. Okay, we'll go cap that. Yeah, and as I mentioned before, orcs are sort of latently psychic and they grow from mushrooms, and as our commander Gabriel Angelos said, sometimes by fighting them you could just make them stronger.
Let us capture these strategic points and establish a base of operations.
Okay, where are we building it here? Build that there. I don't think I'm really going to need that many resources, but I'm going to go build a listening post down there.
Position secure.
This thing that builds down the Space Marine stronghold is a Thunderhawk, which is a kind of like a Space Marine landing craft slash gunship. And those little things that you kind of see the Space Marines dropping down on a lot of our Space Marine drop pods, which are how they can, you know, do orbital landings and things. So I'm going to see if this mission lets me build the better listening posts, because they're kind of fun because they have guns on them. I cannot, unfortunately. I can only get the lame Space Marine listening posts. Probably the most iconic weapon that the Space Marines have, besides maybe the chainsword, which I don't see any examples of here, are their guns, which are called bolt guns or bolters, and they're portrayed in different ways depending on what other author or game is showing them, but they're basically like fully automatic, like grenade launchers, in that they shoot like big rounds that supposedly explode when they hit a target. When you're reading books, they obviously seem much cooler, than they actually are. In video games, they just are a little bit better than like a regular gun. Alright, so we're almost done building the stronghold. Let's see, what else can I build? Alright, let's get the chapel barracks. You guys get out of the way here.
Yes, most beneficent one. Build routine 721 initiated.
Scouts here. At your command.
So let's see. I might as well just kind of move on while I'm building all this stuff.
Praise the Emperor. My faith is my shield.
I doubt whatever I'm facing is going to be dangerous enough that I'm actually going to need all these heavy weapons and things.
He who stands with me shall be my brother.
Yep. So far, these orcs don't seem that scary.
By my command. Attack.
I'm sure they can kill them. Alright, so now let's get an armory because I want special weapons.
Initializing build protocol.
My faith is my shield.
So you can see this orc listening post has a gun on it, which ours will someday when we're cool enough.
Day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium.
I might build another tactical squad because I have 2 more population. Because if I put a tactical squad with if I get a tactical squad with flamers and put the commander in it, then he won't be at risk of just getting sniped by every single building and every single squad of orcs.
The enemy is in our sights.
Okay.
Marine squad deployed. We stand ready. Taking heavy fire.
Cool. So we'll get that.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw
We'll put him inside that squad.
Scouts in position. At your command.
Probably this squad of scouts could use some sniper rifles too.
Yes, my lord.
Cap that point.
Chosen. Direct us to the enemy.
walk softly and carry a big gun.
What's your order?
Scouts awaiting orders. We will take them down from here. We will take them down from here.
So hopefully we get some flamethrowers soon. Hey, you guys get in here. The heavy bolter guy shouldn't be in the front of the combat here. It should be flamethrower squad with the commander. Now, as you can see, so orc slugger boys have pistols and choppas, and those are better in combat than space marines. So they want to get into melee. They're definitely better than scouts in combat. So really, we want these flamer guys up front. And then we want these heavy bolter guys to just mow them down.
Scouts in position.
He who stands with me shall be my brother.
So man, these orcs are like spawning really fast.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there can
Okay, so we'll get these in here. We'll continue moving forward. Burn down that post. And then get some more heavy bolters here to do fire support.
Scouts awaiting orders. At your command.
So many dead orcs.
Mark any enemy positions.
And then so heavy bolters are just like oh man, these Space Marines are almost dead.
We are united in his service
Oh man,
for the honor of the chapter.
I can't get through. Oh, back up.
Agreed.
Let my poor Space Marines through.
We are the Emperor's chosen. At your command. Fear our wrath.
So let's just go through here, take out this.
Scouts here.
Get some more snipers up here. So it much like Company of Heroes, it's much cheaper to reinforce a squad than to get a new one. So early on in multiplayer, when you played this game, it was enough to win just by, you know, being the person who remembered to reinforce their squads. Obviously, people learned to do that pretty quick, but that was like the kind of the Bronze League level of skill. Like, could you remember to hit R on all your squads and keep them reinforced? Okay, we'll go here.
Today the enemy shall be feared. This day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium. Space Marines, advance!
Scouts awaiting orders.
Okay, the scouts probably should not be in front.
Commencing infiltration.
That is a bad idea.
The Emperor protests.
So yeah, clear through all these. All these troops.
He who stands with me shall be my brother.
Now I don't want to talk about it too much yet, because if no one's ever played 40K, this will be kind of a, you know, an interesting mystery. But the reason why the Imperium has sort of been in decline for thousands of years, and why the initial kind of utopian human civilization fell, isn't because of any sort of like man-made apocalypse, which is, you know, kind of usual. It's not like a technological thing either. It's all a bit more nefarious than that. What is actually even the objective here? Oh, establish a base. Oh. Oh, oopsies. Okay, I guess I need to build 2 plasma generators. Guess I should probably read what the
The enemy must be nearby.
I guess I should probably read the instructions.
Fear our wrath. Initiating attack protocol 23.
I bet the instructions were like kill all the orcs, so I doubt the instructions were be friends with all the orcs.
The Emperor. The enemy must be nearby.
Onward to glory. Cleanse, purge, kill. Engaging this.
Okay, new objective. Cleanse the valley.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
So we'll go in here.
At your command.
This
We'll
day
cap
shall
that.
be a
Uh-oh.
glorious one for the Imperium.
Uh-oh. No, run away. Run away, my little servitor.
What would you have me do?
Awaiting orders. Orders received.
So as you can see here, that's why you build listening posts. So the enemy has to kill it before they can take the listening post back.
We will take them down from here.
Now, servitors are another, just one of those, you know, grim, dark Warhammer 40K things, is that in the future, artificial intelligence is illegal because basically at one point there was a rebellion of artificial intelligences, sort of like an AI rebellion. If you've ever played Stellaris, the concept will be quite familiar to you. Oh, I guess we were supposed to upgrade our troops or something.
Any enemy positions.
What would you have me do?
Attacking as ordered.
That's I guess that's why there's so many orcs, because we're supposed to get better units before we kill them. But anyway, artificial intelligence is banned. So, in order to do things that normally robots would do,
monster is a killer can. It is devastating in close quarters fighting, and its armored hide will shrug off small arms fire. We must equip ourselves with missile launchers if we are to destroy the abomination.
okay, so that's what we have to do. Oh no, the Imperial Guard. I mean, that's the thing though. You can kill vehicles with... Let's just try. You can kill vehicles. This isn't like Company of Heroes where small arms do 0 damage to vehicles. They do a little bit, you know. They just don't do a lot. So we might be able to kill this thing. So we'll break these WOG banners. Maybe we can kite it around. See, we're doing a little bit of damage to it. Uh-oh.
The all-telling eyes of the skull probes are with us. Find them on our listening posts. The monastery is complete.
Uh-oh.
Sergeants will inspire your Space Marine squads to greater feats of heroism, and rocket launchers will make short work of Ork buildings.
Ah. Okay, which one of these squads actually has rocket launchers?
Praise the Emperor.
So yeah, I mean, like technically, like certain things are definitely better than others at destroying vehicles, but it's not like you can't destroy vehicles with. Oh man, how long does it take to get this missile launcher? You can destroy vehicles without heavy weapons. It's just very difficult. It takes a lot of effort.
We must upgrade an existing listening post with the fortified position add-on. This upgrade will increase the requisition income and add better defenses to the listening post.
Okay, got too distracted killing this killer can. No, don't attack the missile launcher, guys. Oh, whatever. These guys will kite them around. So another thing that Company of Heroes doesn't have is melee vehicles, where you have vehicles that can attack people in combat. Okay, why aren't you guys attacking these guys? Oh no, my scouts!
Scouts awaiting orders. Yes, my lord.
Ever vigilant.
Oh no, my poor scouts. Okay, so now we can finally get the upgrade that gives us guns on our listening posts, which are going to make it so that the enemy can't just take them back. Or at least it's going to be more difficult.
This day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium.
I think I lost one of my servitors. But anyway, so you can't have robots, so what you do for sort of menial tasks or things that you would normally use a robot for in other sci-fi is you take like criminals or political prisoners or other people and you basically carve their brains out and you put like cybernetics there to kind of turn them into like a human robot. And it's sort of left unclear how much of their humanity is left, so that, you know, maybe they're just completely unconscious, or maybe they're like silently screaming for eternity. Locked inside of their little robot body.
Emperor protects.
Ever vigilant. Maintain attack formation.
And then, again, to keep up the kind of grim atmosphere, you have servo skulls, or well, they're calling skull probes here, but servo skulls are you can see we've got a little heavy bolter held on sideways there to shoot at people. Servo skulls are basically the 40k equivalent of drones. They kind of it just sort of decays over time, but these are just sort of like little scouts, and they're basically a skull with electronics in it. And you know, there's different specialized ones. You can get ones that have like weapons in them or special scanners and stuff, but you know, everything in 40k has to be just like skulls and spikes and sad people. It's just that kind of a universe.
On alert, brothers. The enemy must be
Yes,
nearby.
most beneficent one, as you wish.
On alert, brothers. The enemy must be nearby.
Okay, so
We shall know no fear.
We are the Emperor's chosen, ever vigilant.
So we'll go build a listening post here once that's done. We have plenty of squads left. I should just build some more Space Marine squads. Why not?
This day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium.
Now that we have weapons posts on these fortified listening posts, we shouldn't have to worry too much about them coming through. So what the Sergeant does is it gives you ability that restores morale. I don't think he does anything else. Yeah.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath.
Again, I'm a little bit, there are some abilities for various units in this game that got added in the expansions, and I don't always remember off the top of my head what abilities were in the base game and which ones only got added in expansions. Okay.
The Emperor protects.
So we have so many infantry at this point, we're just gonna roll in here.
None shall stop us.
I guess we can't get through here.
Orders received.
We have to go around, so we'll let my captains go first.
We stand ready.
No, 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 scouts, no.
Glorious one for the Imperium.
Scouts, you're too pure.
We will root it out.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath.
Scouts in position.
What's your order?
Okay, there's my lead squad. Okay.
Carry a big gun.
We are the
Now normally you'd have assault infantry leading the front, but we don't have any, so we're just kind of having to constantly mess around with the flamethrower squad. So let's see here. This squad will give plasma guns. This squad will also give rocket launchers. So plasma guns are they shoot sort of like superheated, almost kind of like, I guess, bolts of plasma, and they're good against heavy infantry.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath.
So there's a lot of orcs here, but we have a lot of heavy bolters, and we'll just keep reinforcing. And eventually, theoretically, they'll run out of heavy bolters. We want these.
awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Fear denies faith.
Today the enemy shall know fear.
Yes, my lord.
We want these missile launcher teams to be killing.
On alert, brothers.
Let's see.
The enemy must be nearby. While the
Man,
enemies
squad selection is kind of annoying in this. I mean, at least it tells me what different squads they are, but I want to select everybody but the missile launcher squads, which are these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, and shouldn't there be another unit of scouts somewhere?
Maintain attack formation.
Oh, these guys.
walk softly and carry a big gun.
Wait, and these guys?
On alert, brothers. The enemy must be
Yeah,
nearby.
okay.
What is your order?
While the enemies of the Emperor
Okay.
still draw breath. My aim.
Well, here's another killer can, which are the orc melee robots, but we're just gonna kill him.
Returning to battle.
We'll get my servitor here to build another
Most beneficent one.
listening post and keep fortifying them.
Taking damage.
On alert, brothers. The enemy must
Yeah,
be
I kind of feel like the whole listening post mechanic is a little bit of a
I shall not fail.
it's not as much of a trade-off as they might have thought it was, because like there's really no reason not to fortify listening posts, because not only do they give you
Today, the
more resources, but they also help you defend the point. So it's not like it's a trade-off, you know.
The Emperor's chosen.
It's just always better to reinforce listening posts. Where did my servitor go? I could have sworn I sent him down here somewhere.
Today, the enemy shall know fear.
Here to serve.
Maybe he got lost. Oh, I guess I actually have to capture that. Mr. Servitor, where are you? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yes, most beneficent one. Yes, Lord.
Praise the Emperor.
Uh-oh. Scouts, no! Oh, God.
Scouts awaiting orders. Scouts advance.
Walk softly.
So, yeah, I should just be kiting this killer can, because, my, it's not that fast, so it's not that hard to kill in, it's not that hard to kill in range if you cut it around.
The enemy must be nearby.
So we'll get these guys forward. Just need to break these orcs, because when morale's broken, units only have 10% accuracy, which makes them, you know, not very effective. So if you can break them, then at that point you could just kind of mop them up. All right. Just gonna move all these guys forward. You can see the little blue lights from the plasma guns here.
Today, the enemy shall know fear.
But yeah, I hope I get Assault Marines soon, because it's kind of, you know, it's not that much fun to have my commander in here with all these units that aren't really good in melee.
While the
It's a little
enemies of the
disappointing.
Emperor still draw breath, there shall be no peace.
I want him with other Marines that can tear stuff apart. As you can imagine, if you play this on very hard, it just becomes not really any more difficult, just incredibly more painful as you know, chop down all these buildings that have 50% extra health. Alright, let's make sure we get these missile launchers here. Uh-oh. No, my poor Space Marine squads.
By my command, attack! Praise the Emperor.
Taking heavy fire.
Let's see here. Guess we'll just watch here and make sure nobody sneaks up on us. Oh, man.
Instructions.
Okay, speaking of sneaking up.
Day shall be a glorious one.
No, no, leave my servitor alone.
One as you wish.
What did my servitor do to you?
This day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium.
Can I just kill this thing from across the whole, across this little barricade here? Okay, that's captured.
None shall stop us.
We'll go into here. Okay, this Killican doesn't have very good situational awareness. They're called Killicans, I believe, just because they kill people and they look like a can, which is a fairly
I await your instructions.
you know, creative name.
Initializing build
Faith is our
protocol.
shield.
Okay. Okay, you guys killed that.
For the glory of the Imperium.
So let's roll here.
We will crush the enemies of
Hopefully
the
we don't run into too many more Killicans.
My faith is my shield.
Taking damage here tonight.
One small item that I rather like about this game, even though it's just, again, it's a very small little tidbit, is how when you have your servitors build a building, they don't just like build it from scratch. They like a prefabricated building comes down from orbit, and then the servitor just sort of finishes it, which I think is a nice touch for Space Marines, who are supposed to be kind of like perpetually on the assault. Everything's sort of temporary, so you can almost imagine that before they leave, they pick the stuff back up again. Because probably that chapel barracks is some ancient heirloom that's been in the Imperium for 1,000,000 years, and the honor of the chapter will be damaged if it somehow goes away or something. Okay, make sure we just keep everybody healed. So I should be kiting this thing, but I just have, we're in rather a closed area, and I just have so many, Marines, that whichever direction I go, I'm gonna just run into an enemy, so there's no point of getting, getting too fancy here. So we'll just run these guys up. Okay. Alright, that's built. So yeah, flamethrowers, they don't really do that much damage, but the morale damage they do is the real reason you have them, because yeah, broken units are basically worthless. So I want these guys to kill that. This is the thing making the Killicans, who I don't really want to deal with. Well, I guess I could have gone that way. What's over there? I guess just another strategic point. Okay, so here's the Orc stronghold. Let's just kill this thing. Maybe I'll just back off this squad. So many buildings aren't shooting at these guys. Everybody else seems in good health. As we just slaughter orcs. Okay, the stronghold's dead. Now I just gotta finish off the rest of this stuff. Okay. The little glowy thing is that Gabriel has. The Force Commander is called a power sword, and it's sort of like the 40k equivalent of like a lightsaber, in that it's like a glowy sword that can go through armor. This one has like a physical blade, but they make ones that are just energy.
I must speak with the captain.
He is giving the Emperor his praise. Leave him this moment.
Yes, brother librarian. We completed our sweep of the area and can find no more orcs.
Indeed. Tell your squad to move ahead and clear the company's path.
Yes, brother librarian.
I will suffer no trespass.
Uh-oh. Well, anyway, that was mission 2. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.